NHL betting preview show Pucks Across Borders, brought to you by the one, the only First Round Collectibles on Sports Addict Live and Total Apex Sports. What's your favorite sport? Hockey, football, basketball, baseball, wrestling, boxing, whatever it is, you can get a sports card for your favorite sport and favorite players on First Round at firstroundcollectibles.com. And right now with our promo code Sports Addict, get 10% off whatever sports card you want in the entire First Round Collectibles store. They have an ongoing sale up to 50% off dozens and dozens of cards. And with our promo code Sports Addict, not only do you get 10% off of regular price items, but sales items as well. Go to firstroundcollectibles.com today. Use promo code Sports Addict for 10% off your order. That's the number one, STRoundCollectibles.com, firstroundcollectibles.com. First Round Collectibles, sports cards for sports fans.
Yeah. Let's go. We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Yeah.
And welcome to this Friday edition of the NHL betting show, Pucks Across Borders on Sports Addict Live and Total Apex Sports. Good to be here. Good to be back. Brought to you by, of course, First Round Collectibles. Use promo code Sports Addict for 10% off your order. FirstRoundCollectibles.com. Now listen, man. We typically do go over last night. First, I ask you how you are. I care about how you are, but that's going to have to wait. We go through the games last night. We go through. But guess what, bro? In 18 minutes, we have a game in the NHL over in Finland for the Global Series continuing this weekend in Finland. The Dallas Stars and the Florida Panthers play today at 2:10 p.m. and tomorrow at noon. Very quickly, I just want to say this because you know me, I have to complain about everything. Why wasn't this the opening weekend of the NHL? Like, no disrespect to Buffalo, and New Jersey, but like Florida, Dallas, and Finland, let's go. This is going to be an excellent couple games overseas. So before we get into all the other festivities, bro, let's just get right to it. The game starts in 18 minutes. People got to make their bets, including me. I want to know what you think before I spend any of my hard-earned cash. So let's just dive right in. Florida, Dallas, minus 118 are the Panthers. On the road, but I guess both are very much so on the road. Dallas, minus 102 in Finland, minus 1.5 for the Panthers is plus 198, plus 1.5 for the Stars is minus 250. The over is 6.5 at plus 112, and the under is minus 138. What do you got, bro? Panthers, Stars over in Finland to kick us off on a Friday afternoon.
I mean, sometimes relax and enjoy good hockey. I think this is one of those games. Call me a coward. Call me a punk.
I will.
Don't bet on this.
Yeah, I will.
Just have fun. Watch last year's Stanley Cup champions. Watch last year's, I guess in the regular season at least, Western Conference champions. Go at it. Florida's won 3 in a row. The Stars, they've won 3 of 4. Just record-wise in general, 7-2 against 7-3-1. You don't get games like this very often, and we get them back to back. Just enjoy it. I'm a hater, so I would put money on the Stars, but there's no rhyme or reason behind it. I could see an argument for either side, especially because both are playing well right now. That's all I got.
Yeah, dude. I would love to just sit back and enjoy, but I can't let an NHL game at 2 p.m. in the afternoon go without me getting some action on it. I'm right there with you, though. I've been kind of going back and forth all day on this one. Like, the odds, Florida, not like super heavy favorites, but minus 118 is, decently heavy. I'm going with Dallas too, and there's no real rhyme or reason. I think these are both very, very good teams off to very good starts. Florida hasn't really slowed down. They don't look at their peak right now, the peak of their powers, but they're winning games. Sam Reinhart is scoring every single night, so clearly that is um that is a where do we got plus 165 for him to score. Jason Robertson, I like him too for Dallas, plus 200. You got to go all the way down. Wyatt Johnston's plus 270. I love that for a long shot bet. I'll take Dallas too. And what do you think, man? Like, you're overseas. Are you thinking high scoring, like the over? Like I said, 6.5 is plus 112. Jake Ottinger, Sergei Bobrovsky, two of the best goaltenders in the game. Both of the defenses are both really strong. What are you thinking for that total? I kind of want over just for the fun of it, but I'm not too sure how I feel about it.
Yeah, I'm kind of, trying to look at past international games, and the two that immediately jumped to mind were the two this year. And they were both 4-1 because the Sabres were still in America. So I really don't know what to do here. I was trying to look at trends for either team, but Dallas games, just all of them pretty much been under the total this year. They opened the season over the total, and then since then, 5 games finished under, 2 pushes, only 1 over the total. Whereas the Panthers, the overs hit 8 of their 11. Was at 7 of the past 9. So completely opposite sides here. I would lean over just because I feel like the goal scoring talent beats the goaltending talent in this case. Not by much, mind you, but again, there's not a lot to really bank on here. Just gonna be a good game.
It is.
It could go either way. I will say, both power plays over 20%. That is something to watch out for. And part of the reason I think why I'm going to lean towards the over, even though both PKs are good.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm leaning over as well. But it is one of those odds that are one of those things that could go either way. All right, that game starts in 12 minutes. We gave you plenty of time. Those are our thoughts. Now let's get on with the show. Andre, how you doing on a Friday, bro? Good to see you.
It is Friday. It is nice out. It is good to see you. Well, maybe I shouldn't be applauding that it's nice out because it's November. I want some cold weather. I want to, I got some nice puffer jackets. Got some hoodies I want to wear. I can't even pop them. It's just it's 70s still. Like, what is going on? But otherwise, I'm fine. I think it's kind of weird that Pekka Luukkonen is Finnish and they sent him to Croatia, whereas they have these two in Finland now. But I don't make the schedule. I'm not going to beef with the NHL. Not today. That's your job. So
yeah,
I'm good to go.
Well, I will say I have no problem with them, with these two teams being in Finland. There are lots of Finnish players on the ice over the course, like Barkov, I believe Lindell, if I'm remembering correctly, Heiskanen. There's lots of good. I think Rope Hintz is from Finland. Lots of good Finnish talent. I'm just saying, like, opening weekend in the NHL, you got people who are desperate for hockey. They'll watch anything. But again, no offense to Buffalo or New Jersey for that matter, but Florida, Dallas, and Finland, that's an opening weekend if I ever saw one. And it's funny, so like the hooded jackets, you strike me as a guy who has like the fur around the hood. Are you that gangster, or because I don't mind me a hood with some fur? I'm actually here
I haven't
for
had. It. Well, I think I might still have one of those. I don't remember the last time I wore one of those though. No, I'm talking about like the starter jackets though. I'm ready to start rocking.
Oh, those. Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the starter one, got my hoodie under. That's what I'm for. And I know November's a little too. November is not early for that. I just want to stunt, and I can't stunt when it's 70 plus. When it's 60s, it's 50s. Like, I need some like 30s, maybe a little 20s. So
Yeah, I'm Canadian, so I don't know what any of those numbers mean, but I'm right here with you, bro.
oh,
20s to me is like
it needs
hot
to
and sunny, but
got you.
I,
I got you. It needs to get closer to zero. It needs to get closer to zero.
I'll tell you something. November is not too early for anything, and you know what that includes? That includes Christmas music. Shout out to SiriusXM. They really should sponsor this show. I give them so much free publicity. Last night was my wife's birthday, so we're out and about. We're in the mall. We're going here. We're going there. We're driving all over the GTA, the Greater Toronto Area, for you who don't know. And so I'm listening. I'm bouncing between all the games. I got my earbud in. I'm listening to SiriusXM. I'm listening to the Leaf broadcast. I'm listening to the Ducks Penguins. I'm all over the place. I'm even on the drive home. I'm getting some San Jose Chicago action, and the commercials on the radio for SiriusXM. They're promoting their Christmas channels now, and my wife rolls her eyes because she thinks I'm crazy, but I am here for it. I can't wait. I love me some Christmas tunes. I think we had this conversation last year, but I can't remember. That was a long, long time ago. All right, let's dive back into the action. We just gave you our picks between Florida and Dallas. That game starting in 8 minutes time. Let's go to Manhattan, where Andre's boys, the boys in blue, taking on the Ottawa Senators. Some days they're my Senators, other days they're not. It really is a very hot and cold relationship. The Rangers, kind of surprised on the odds, but so you know what's funny? And this isn't like, so we've been talking about some of these odds. Like last night, those Pittsburgh Anaheim odds were outrageous. But you know what happened? Pittsburgh won. And I feel like there has been these odds this week. I feel like, off the top of my head, I feel like there's been 6 games where the odds just look ridiculous. And I took the bait on all of them. And I believe that the favorites won it in all 6 of them. And that even goes like outside of the NHL to the football game last night. If you talk to a football fan who doesn't observe like betting at all, you have the Jets, you have the Texans. Who do you think would be favored? Most football fans would say the Texans, even though they have, Collins is out, Diggs is out, there's injuries for the Texans. But a casual football fan would say that the Texans would be favored, right? But what do? They jump out to a lead and they promptly lose with relative ease. So, yeah, maybe we just got to stop tempting fate here. But regardless, the New York Rangers minus 184 at home. The Ottawa Senators plus 152 on the road. Plus 1.5 for Ottawa is minus 162. Minus 1.5 for the Rangers is plus 132. The over is 6.5 at minus 102. And the under is minus 120. Andrew, what do you got, bro? Rangers, Senators.
I just want to say, I feel you on that football game last night. I almost took the bait, and as I was putting together my official pick game, I was like, I can't do this. I actually don't trust either of these offenses, and it saved me. I picked the under. It won. Having a pretty good NFL season. That's besides the point. It just reminded me. Check me out on Winners and Miners. Shameless plug. I am 22-12 in the NFL this season.
Look at
anyway,
you. Never
back
shameless,
to this
bro.
game.
Never shameless. I used to always plug your work for you, but I haven't done that yet this year. So I guess that's on me.
Yeah. Not a hardworking man anymore. That's why. You're just ashamed of me. For this game, I have a few bets on this game already, I believe. I have the Rangers 60-minute line. That one, pretty obvious. Just, I expect them to win. I wanted a little bit better odds. They're back at home. it was minus 120. I was like, okay, this is good enough. I had it parlayed with, the Knicks. I had to do it. But that's where I'm at as far as a winner. I don't think there's any controversy or debate saying the Rangers are the better team. They're scoring. Actually, they're not scoring more. They're just under the Senators now, but they're allowing over a goal less per game. So right off the bat, that jumps out, especially since Ottawa's PK is struggling, and we know the Rangers are known for their power play proficiency.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, that jumped out to me. Rangers over 3.5 goals was an easy one for me. They've been hitting it consistently this year. I know they haven't the last 3, but they did in their first 6 games of the season. And they are still 4th in scoring. So trust the offense. I think that's going to be the reason they win this game. I think it's going to be the reason they win this game comfortably. They're going to pick up 2 points tonight. I don't think there's any shame. I don't think Ottawa's awful. I just don't think they've been playing well enough defensively, getting enough goaltending to, slow down the Rangers. So I like the Rangers 60-minute line. I like the over. I like the Rangers team total for goal. Was kind of looking into some Artemi Panarin and Stützle point props because both are light. But
yeah,
that's more your forte, so I'm just going to pass the baton.
Yeah, no, that's a really good catch by you. For me, my favorite bet in this game, because I do like the Rangers to win this game, much like you. I don't trust the puck line just because I know let me just see what Daily Faceoff is saying. Shesterkin is in net, likely. Allmark is also likely, but I still really like the over. I feel like for both of these teams, no matter who's in net, they have the ability to give up quite a few goals to a team that can score. I know Shesterkin's having a good season, but I do feel like the Ottawa Senators can still get to him. So I don't love the puck line. To me, I look at this game, first thing I think is a 5-4 hockey game. Maybe 6-4 empty netter. I love the over in this game. That's my favorite bet in this game, bar none. Over 6.5 at minus 102. As far as props and stuff go, I think right now, you're getting, Panarin plus 130. Do you remember a time where his odds were this short to score? I think that just kind of shows you the season that he's having. He can score. We know he can score, but he's not typically in a game that has, Brady Tkachuk, Trocheck, Kreider. Panarin's typically wouldn't be the longest or the shortest odds. So I think that just speaks to the type of season that he's having, plus 130 for him to score. And I mean, to find some value, what do you think? 2 points for Panarin, plus 132, 2 points for Stützle, plus 240. So I'll just piggyback on what you were saying. I don't mind that at all. But I really, really like the over in this game. I already have a bet on it, and I think that the over is going to hit pretty comfortably. All right, moving on to what, I can't remember what game it was, but we said this the other day where it's if you told me in September that this would be the game of the night, I wouldn't believe you. But kind of sneaky. This is kind of the game of the night. Tampa Bay, Minnesota is a really, really good game. Ottawa Rangers is a good game. Obviously, the game about to start in Finland is a really good game. But Winnipeg, Columbus, man, I'm kind of jacked up for this game. I just the way that the Columbus season has been going, clearly the way that the Winnipeg Jets season has been going, I'm really looking forward to this game. The Winnipeg Jets are minus 160 now. Some money coming in on Columbus. The Blue Jackets are home, and they are plus 132. Winnipeg Jets minus 1.5 on the puck line, plus 148. Plus 1.5 for the Blue Jackets is minus 184. The over is 6.5 at minus 115, and the under is minus 105. What do you got? Winnipeg Blue Jackets. I will say Daily Faceoff has Comrie to be likely playing for the Jets tonight, not Connor Hellebuck, and Elvis Merzlikins is confirmed to get back between the pipes after a really impressive shutout victory his last time in goal. Andre, what do you got, man? Winnipeg, Columbus.
Yeah, so I bet or I
Mm-hmm.
have this game, particularly the over. I have the Jets money line parlayed with it, but it was mostly for just the extra juice. I have this over 6 at minus 118. It's a sign the money's coming in on the over. People are
Yeah.
taking the over, and I think it's for good reason. I mean, Winnipeg obviously 4.6 goals per game, leading the league. Columbus 3.89. They're seventh right now. These are teams that are consistently scoring multiple goals. 6 of the last 7 games for the Jets have gone over the total. They scored at least each of those. They allowed multiple goals in each of those. You flip it to Columbus, they've scored multiple goals in 8 of their last 9. 6 of their last 8 went over the total. They allowed multiple goals in 6 of those games, but they're consistently scoring 2 plus, 3 plus, whatever, as well as giving up 4 plus in a good chunk of those games. I know they've been better lately. I know Winnipeg, you think of them as this defensive juggernaut. You think of Hellebuck, the Vezina Trophy winner. But these are teams lighting the lamp. They're finding the back of the net, and I love it. I took the over already. I did take the Jets money line, just kind of a cop-out, easy odds play. I think money shifted towards Columbus since I took that as well, which is
Yeah.
interesting. I know they're at home. I think the Jets are still going to, but over for sure more than anything, because the way these teams have been skating, you can expect at least one of them to score like 4 or 5 goals, just the way it's been lately, and then the other team, it's consistently 2 or 3, whatever. So it should be a competitive, high-scoring game.
I'm right there with you, man. Much like the last game, Ottawa, New York, this is my favorite bet for this game too, the over. I do like Winnipeg to win this game. The puck line, I'm here for the puck line. I think having Comrie in net, good backup goaltender. He's had a really good start to the year. Nothing on him, but Columbus has done nothing but score, man. They're scoring every night. They only got 2 goals the other night, but they're still scoring a bunch. And again, even though Merzlikins did get a shutout the other night, he is a very gettable goaltender for a team that's scoring a ton right now in the Winnipeg Jets. So I'm taking the over. I'm right there with you. Now, one of my favorite bets, maybe my favorite bet aside from the over in this game, Kyle Connors. Kyle Connor. I always say Kyle Connors. It's Kyle Connor. I've been talking this guy up a lot over the last little bit. We hit on him last year as well. This guy, one of the most underrated point getters in the NHL. He's doing it every single night. For Kyle Connor to get 2+ points tonight is plus 196. And he 3 points the other night in Detroit, 4 points against Toronto, 2 points against Calgary, 2 points against Seattle, 1 point against St. Louis. That's just in the last 5 games. So Kyle Connor, wow, to get 2+ points at plus 196. And kind of coupled with that, I'm trying to find it here. I just had it. Coupled with that, Mark Scheifele, for him to get 2 points, not as much, but they're on the ice together a lot. So if Kyle Connor gets, 2+ points, odds are that Scheifele will as well. He had 1 point against Detroit, 2 points against Toronto, and 2 points against Seattle. So In 2 of the last 4 games, he's had 2+ points, and he's had points in 3 of the last 4 games. All right, moving on to our favorite team to talk about, the New York Islanders in Buffalo. I'm interested by these odds. I already said it off the top that the books with these odds, they tend to be correct, and this kind of would be speaking to me if it wasn't the New York Islanders. We found out today, and this is why it kind of surprises me. So Buffalo's minus 115 at home. The Islanders are minus 104 on the road. We found out today Matt Barzal is going back to Long Island to get looked at by doctors. He is out. Timeline for his return is unknown. So for a team who cannot score goals to save their lives right now, for them to lose a guy like Matt Barzal, who, when the offense is really clicking, it all goes through him. He gets like 50+ assists every single year, 40+ anyway. And so for them to be missing him at a time where they can't score goals is a huge problem. So I'm a little bit surprised that they're on the minus side of this. But Buffalo, minus 115, Islanders, minus 104. The minus 1.5 for Buffalo is plus 210. Plus 1.5 for the Islanders is minus 265. The over is 5.5 at minus 122. And the under is plus 100. What do you got, bro? Islanders, Sabres.
One of those games where you really just don't want to talk about it, honestly.
No,
I mean, you didn't say it outright. I'll say it outright. What's
Thank you.
These teams, man. Buffalo, to their credit, they had won 3 in a row before they faced the Panthers a few nights ago, October 28th. Mm-hmm. So They were playing better. They did have a 6-game stretch where they scored 27 goals, 5-5, 4-4, 4-5. So a little bit of life in the offense. They opened the season with 3 straight games, only 1 goal in each of those, and then hit their stride a little bit. The Panthers shut them down. I think they can regain it against the Islanders. We've talked a lot about the Islanders this week for the worst reasons. And this is kind of one of those battles, the movable object against the stoppable force. The worst power play in the league, the Buffalo Sabres, 6.9% against the second worst PK in the league. The Islanders, they are 62.5%. Whoever wins that, and I have more reason to believe it's going to be the Sabres and the Islanders at this point, is going to win the game, you would think. But on top of that is the fact that the Islanders, their offense is just so hot and cold, inconsistent, whatever you want to call it. They've been shut out 4 times. They scored 1 goal in another game. That's half their games where they didn't hit the back of the net more than once. You're not going to win very often doing that. They're the lowest scoring team in the league. Pretty comfortably, they're 2.1 goals per game. So which version of them is going to come up? Because they've had, for as many games as they sucked, they've had 5 games where they've scored 4, 5, 6 goals. So if that version of them shows up, and it seems to happen every other day, they'll win. The problem being, it doesn't feel like they're doing enough where that's going to consistently happen. It feels like those games were the flukes, not the 0s and the 1s, because this is a team that's been awful on special teams, PK and power play. This is a team that's just doesn't feel like anything is going right, even though 3-5-2 isn't really the end of the world. 3-game losing streak for them, all 3 by multiple goals, though. 2 of them, they were favored. 1 of them at home pretty heavily against the Ducks. I mean, sky might be falling for the Islanders right now. I'm taking the Sabres. I don't feel good about it, though.
Yeah, I'm there with you, man. You're talking about, like, Dallas, Florida, don't bet aside. Sit back and enjoy the game. The Islanders and Buffalo, don't bet aside and don't enjoy this game. Watch something else. I don't know what else to tell you. Update, Florida Panthers, 18 minutes and 56 seconds left in the first period, and the Florida Panthers are up 1-0. Yeah, I honestly, dude, like, If I'm being forced to pick a side, you have to pick Buffalo right now. Like you just, I do think the Islanders minus 104, that says something to me. The fact that they're on the minus side and not like plus money with the way that they've been playing, that says something to me. So that kind of raises my eyebrow a little bit. But I'll just go back to the stat that you just said, man. 4 shutouts. You've been shut out 4 times and scored 1 goal against the Ducks the other night. 5 over the course of 5 of your games, you scored 1 goal. That's brutal. And I think that this Matt Barzal, who hasn't played like tremendous, but he's a really key part to their offense too. So we'll see. Are they going to pull something that the Oilers pulled last night and get, 3 goals, without their best player? I don't know. Maybe. This is certainly, I will say this. You need a win, and not just a win as in 2 points, but you need a win. Andre, you gave a really great life lesson yesterday about not stepping on bananas. And I'm saying sometimes in life, we just need a win. We just need, get 4 goals, get a power play goal, do something. And that's what, and this is again, no disrespect to Buffalo, but this is a good team to try to bounce back against, but I don't think they'll do it. I'm taking Buffalo too at minus 115. All right, moving on to the Tampa Bay Lightning at Minnesota. In my opinion, if you take away the game that we're watching right now, this is the game of the night for me. I think this is a really good hockey game. Tampa Bay, the exact same odds as the game that we just covered. Tampa Bay is minus 104 on the road. Minnesota, minus 115 at home. Plus 1.5 for the Lightning is minus 250. Minus 1.5 for the Wild is plus 198. The over is 6.5 at plus 112. And the under is minus 138. What do you got, man? Tampa Bay, Minnesota. This is a good hockey game.
Yeah, some good hockey teams. Thank the Lord.
Yeah.
I mean, they've played each other already. Played each other a week ago for a 2 Wild win in Tampa. So right off the bat, part of me thinks that, Tampa was going to want revenge. They're good enough to get revenge for sure. Considering it's pretty hard to, sweep these series. They're a team that's been, for the most part, just consistently winning. They have a 3-game winning streak since then. 3-0, 3-2, 5-2. Over the Capitals, Predators, and Avalanche, 2 of those teams might be struggling. The Washington Capitals are not. So those are all pretty good wins. I like the Lightning in this spot. No knock on Minnesota whatsoever. I know they're coming home for the first time in 7 games since October 12th, but they didn't look good at home when they opened the season. Squeaked by against Columbus and lost in a shootout against Seattle. So I'm going to take the Lightning here as road dogs. I can see a little bit of revenge. I took the over last time. It was a push, I believe. It ended at 6, and it was a 4-2 final. So that's obviously just a null and void bet. But I like it again. I like these offenses a lot. Keeping it simple here. Over, Lightning win.
Yeah, what I'm really interested in this game is the goaltending matchup, because you look at the 2 goaltenders, and clearly Vasilevsky, longevity-wise, is you would take him over, Gustafsson and over maybe any goaltender in the NHL, right? Over the last 5 years between Vasilevsky, Shesterkin, Hellebuck. It's those 3, Bobrovsky. But both goaltenders have started the season really well. Both goaltenders have really good numbers to start the year. And I've just been really impressed with Gustafsson so far this season. We've talked about it on the show before. This is probably too dramatic to say, but I'll say it anyway. He got his coach fired last year. He was so bad in the first 2 months of the season last year that the coach was, shown the door, as was every coach in the NHL last year. But Philip Gustafsson, 4-1-1 to start the year, 217 goals against, 922 save percentage. He's had a really, really good start to the year, and I'm curious to see what this goaltending matchup is about. I've also, like you said too, I've been really impressed with Tampa Bay. I think a lot of us going into the season were really unsure what we were going to get, and we forgot that, they still have Kucherov and Point and Hagel and Hedman and Vasilevsky and John Cooper is still a really good coach. Like, this team's good right now. But you know what? I'm riding Minnesota here. I really like what I've seen from them so far this year. And I think that they, just based on the last couple of years, they still haven't earned that benefit of the doubt. They are still proving to us that they belong in the conversation for the top teams in the Central. And you know how you prove it to us just a little bit more is by beating Tampa Bay on a Friday night in your own barn, the state of hockey. I love it. Minnesota win -115. The total, I mean, I'm staying away from this total personally. I think this could very easily be over or under. You said it last time. According to DK, the last time these two teams played, it was a push. According to FanDuel, it hit the under. So I am staying away from the total. We'll see what happens when this Minnesota Wild team plays. You would be a fool. I mean, that's not entirely true. That's a little bit dramatic. Huh?
You already put it out. It's too late. You already put it out there.
Fine, I'll own it. You would be stupid not to bet Kaprizov on something. This guy's scoring all the time. Empty net goal to prove me right again the other night. He's +115 to score. That early in the season, he's already only +115 to score. And for him to get 2 points is +128. And for Nikita Kucherov to get 2 points is +114. You remember I was telling you the other day about this new where is it? I gotta find it. Oh, I don't see it here. Maybe it's not out yet. I had it the other day. FanDuel's doing like daily specials. I like either Kaprizov or Kucherov to have the most shots in the NHL tonight. I would be curious to see what those odds are. All right. Moving on to the last game of the night, the New Jersey Devils in Calgary. Calgary. How many is it in a row for Calgary right now? Is it 5 or are we at 6 already?
It's only 4.
Oh, it's only 4. Oh, look at me.
4.
That's super disrespectful. Okay, well, the start of the season, super hot, and they have gotten super cold since then. The Calgary Flames +146 dogs at home. That's tough. New Jersey Devils -178. The -1.5 for the Devils, +136. +1.5 for the Flames is -168. The over is 6.5 at -120. And the under is 6.5, of course, obviously, at -102. The return of Jacob Markstrom as well to Calgary. Andre, what do you got, man? Devils, Flames.
Underrated storyline that I kind of forgot about. Don't really think it matters. I took Devils puck line already. Obviously, we talked about the Flames, their struggles. They've lost 4 in a row. Outscored 19-6 in those 4 games. That's just under 5 goals allowed per game. That's 1.5 goals scored per game. Not good on either end. The Devils, they've had their bumps. It hasn't been a perfect season, but 6-0 win in Vancouver a couple nights ago, 6-2 win before that. For the most part, their goaltending and defense has been solid. That losing streak, it was awful, but they're still only allowing 3 goals per game. Decent number. I believe it's tied for 10th in the league right now. And they scored 3+ in 7 straight. The way that Calgary is defending, the way that Calgary is not scoring, versus the way that Jersey has been scoring all year, and I guess the past few years, in the way that they're just, good enough defensively. Should be a comfortable win for the Devils here. So Markstrom, in his return, he gives the Saddle Dome something they've seen a lot of times before, a great performance, and they cover that puck line. I like the over just a tiny bit more because I expect a lot from the Devils offensively, talking like 5 or 6 goals, and I don't expect to shut out on the Flame side, but I for sure trust Jersey to come out of here with a multi-goal win.
Yeah, I really like this Calgary team, and I want to buy in on it, especially at that price. But you know what? There's a part of me that thinks, like that game the other night against Vancouver, where the brothers all clashed, the Hughes brothers all played. That game, the Devils just absolutely stomped the Canucks. And a lot of times, like we see this, right, where you win a game 6-0, and then the next game is a dud. And so some part of me kind of expects that a little bit tonight, but at the same time, you just can't put that money on Calgary right now. I do like that price, but listen, man, fool me once, shame on me, or shame on you, or whatever the phrase is. I've been deceived a lot by these astronomical odds. Update: Barkov looks like just scored for Florida. The Panthers are up 2-0, so our Dallas pick is not looking great, but the over is looking all right now. All right, yeah, I'll take New Jersey too. I'm hesitant to take the puck line just because I do expect some pushback from Calgary tonight. You're at home. It's been a tough stretch of games. Markstrom's back in your building. I expect a good performance, but I will take the Devils on that -1.5. I have a hard time putting my faith in Calgary right now. All right, so we're doing this a little bit backwards because we did the Florida-Dallas game right off the top, and it kind of threw me off. So before we get into our best bets, why don't we take a quick look back at last night? Of course, like I said, doing this backwards, usually we hit this off the top of the show, but it's our show, and we can do whatever we want. So let's take a quick look back into the NHL last night. The Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Seattle Kraken 4-1 with ease. I had a beautiful parlay that hit last night that I didn't directly put it out on the show, but I kind of hinted to every leg. I had Toronto money or Toronto puck line parlayed with a Matthew Knies goal, which was the first goal of the hockey game, with an Toronto over 3.5 goals, and Joseph Woll 22 plus saves, and that hit for me last night. Dominant game by the Maple Leafs. Seattle made a late push, but great win for the Maple Leafs. The St. Louis Blues lose to the Flyers. You by the way, you had a good night last night for picks. We both dropped the ball on the Anaheim-Pittsburgh pick, but I picked the Blues here to win. You picked the Flyers. Great job by you. Flyers getting back to their winning ways, and the St. Louis Blues are continuing to lose. The Ducks, and what I listened to a lot of this game on the radio, what sounded like a phenomenal hockey game. The Ducks winning 1-0 for the majority of this game. They end up losing 2-1 in overtime. Sidney Crosby with 2 goals, including obviously the overtime winner. Lucas Dostal, man, we talk about this goaltender every day. He has stopped 83 pucks in his last 2 games. Absolutely brilliant how well he's been playing so far this season, but his team loses 2-1. The Montreal Canadiens, speaking of giving up a bunch of goals, am I accurate in seeing that they've given up 14 goals in the last 2 games?
Talking about Montreal?
Yeah, Montreal.
Oh, I'd have to. Who
Because
did they
didn't
play
they
before
lose
that?
Seattle like 8-2 the other night?
Oh yeah, they did.
Was that their last game? Like before
Yeah,
Washington?
so
It
that's
was,
4-2.
right?
Yeah.
That's tough. And Montreal was having a really good start to the game, and bada boom, bada bing, they lose 6-3 to the Washington Capitals, who just keep trucking along, man. Another goal for Ovi, which is great to see. And this Connor McMichael kid, he's still scoring too. On the Montreal side, what did I tell you? Every single night, Cole Caulfield, 10 goals on the season, win or lose. This kid is
Insane.
scoring every single night. But the Canadians also are losing every single night, and they do it again 6-3 to Washington. The Carolina Hurricanes and the Boston Bruins. This is a dark place for Boston right now, man. 8-2, rather. Sorry, 8-2. The Carolina Hurricanes lose to the Buffalo Sabres. The Carolina Hurricanes beat the Buffalo Sabres 8-2. Only 15 shots on goal for the Boston Bruins last night. And you know what, man? Like, I've been preaching this ever since the season started. I hate it when a goalie misses training camp. I don't trust it. But you know what, man? You look at the score 8-2 and you immediately blame Swayman. The defense is playing so badly in front of him right now. Like, this is a disaster. And I know Marchand had 3 surgeries over the summer, and I know, but this is a conundrum. And like Jim Montgomery, if they lost Game 7 to the Toronto Maple Leafs, a lot of people in the Boston market thought that he was going to get fired, and he might have just postponed the inevitable. Because if this keeps going, I don't even know if it's necessarily his fault, but we know how it works in the NHL. The coaches get blamed for everything. And Carolina,
Yeah.
I didn't believe in this team going into the year, but they're doing nothing but win right now. The last 2 games of the night, Edmonton Oilers, their first game without Connor McDavid, and they win 3-1. Arvidsson, he's been really quiet. He scored finally. 5-1. And Zach Hyman. Sure. Was the goal meaningless? Last goal of the game? Sure. Did the goal matter? Was it important? No. But you know what? Sometimes you just need one. You just need one to get the train moving, and Zach Hyman did it last night. Oilers win 5-1. Nashville just continues to be a tough start to the year for them, and our San Jose Sharks beat the Blackhawks 3-2. Which, again, I listened to a lot of this game on the radio and sounded like a great hockey game. And those black Sharks jerseys are beautiful, man. Those are absolutely gorgeous. So that's what happened in the NHL last night. Like I said, doing this a little bit backwards. So, Andre, what was your takeaway from the NHL last night, man? There's a lot to pick apart here.
Yeah. The first thing I want to say is the Canadians, I know they lost 6-3, but 3 goals on 15 shots. It's called efficiency. That's how you do it. Whereas, I guess the Bruins, they had 2 goals on their 15 shots, but you saw what happened on the other end of that. The Penguins, we've picked on them a lot.
Yep.
They needed last night desperately.
They did.
And it looked like they needed last night. Dallas just scored, by the way.
Ooh.
Nedeljkovic didn't face a ton of shots, only 23. There were a lot of high danger opportunities. There were a lot of loose pucks. There was just a lot of chaos when Anaheim did have scoring chances, and he made all the plays he needed to down to the last second of regulation to keep that game tied at 1, to get the Penguins to overtime, to at least get them a point. Pittsburgh did control play for the most part. I think they ended 16 minutes, ended the third period with a 44-22 shot advantage. So they were skating like they needed to win. I mean, they did. So kudos to them. There were a lot of power plays and just scoring chances and offensive zone time for Pittsburgh last night. And it only resulted in 2 goals, 1 in regulation. That's mostly because Dostal was also phenomenal, but they powered through. when you're struggling like that and you have a game that strong, but you're not finding the back of the net and you're still in a position where you could very easily lose, it's easy to just, give up, feel like the sky's falling. It's just not going to work out. They stuck with it. They pushed through. They got the 2 points. They still have a long way to go if you're talking about season, just turning it around, getting to the playoffs again. But last night was a good start. A winnable game, not against the easiest team, but a winnable game coming in. Kind of got hairy, and they pulled it out. Kudos to them.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think one more thing to add to that is I think the shots to start the game was something like 13-2 for Pittsburgh, something like that. And with like 5 minutes left in the period, Killorn scores and the Ducks go up 1-0. And I think for a team that's having such a tough start like Pittsburgh is right now, you're dominating a first period and you're down 1-0. Like that can kind of just make your head fall off your body and just kind of give up right off the bat, right? Like roll your eyes, here we go again. And like you said, man, they dug deep and had a terrific performance. And they're going to need, goaltending performances like that. He only had to make 22 stops. But he made some really, really big saves last night. Like some really, really key saves to keep his team in the game and give them a chance to win. And that's just what they did. So that's what they need, man. Like their defense has been bad. We've talked about it. Their goaltending's been bad too, by and large. And this is exactly what the doctor ordered for Pittsburgh. For me, man, I mean, there's lots to kind of pick apart and kind of take away. I think, I kind of just said my piece already, but the Boston Bruins is really interesting to me. Like this is really interesting to me to see what we're seeing in Boston because, every team goes through ups and downs. Every team, has like their good games and their bad games. But what we're seeing from Boston, they have 2 or 1 regulation wins on the season because they beat the Leafs in overtime. I think they have
2 regulation wins.
They have 2 regulation wins so far this year, 4-6-1. And this is really not looking good in Boston right now. And what I found was interesting was, for you American viewers, I don't know if you would know who this guy is. I know Andre does because Andre's a pro. But Elliot Friedman, really, really good insider up here in Canada for Sportsnet. And the night that they played, was it Hockey Night in Canada when they played the Leafs? Or maybe the week after. I think it was the day that they played the Leafs. He said that he's getting reports from his sources that something's not right in Boston and that there's just a lot of things that aren't like right with that team. And he didn't really like dive into what that, meant. He didn't really give any, but right after that, they've promptly lost like 5 in a row. I don't think they've won since he said that. So I'm really curious to see what happens. And like I said, man, like Boston, when they were beating the Leafs 3-1 in the playoffs and it got pushed to a game 7, and you don't forget the year before that, they have a historic regular season and promptly lose to the Florida Panthers in the first round after being up 3-1 in that series as well. And Jim Montgomery, by all accounts, what was probably going to be shown the door if they lost that game 7 to Toronto. And it's hard to imagine if Boston doesn't figure this out soon. Now, that being said, I don't really like the idea of firing him just because, like, he's a really good coach and they've had a lot of success. And who else are you bringing in right now? Like, who are you bringing in that is better than this guy? Maybe Joel Quenneville's out there. I don't know. But that's just my opinion. But it's tough sledding in Boston right now.
And just how often do you hear reports like that coming out of the Bruins organization?
100%. Yeah, I agree.
You don't really hear, dysfunction. There's something wrong in Boston, at least not with this team. So it's strange, to say the least, especially with the losing streak coming afterward. We expected coming in that this would be a rocky year for the Bruins. It's played the part for better or worse. And they did get over the Swayman hump, I guess. But now it's looking like at what cost?
Well, and yeah, we expected it, but not like this, bro. Like, this is like they don't even look competitive, man. Like that game last night, dude. Like, I've already said this. I was out, my wife's birthday. I'm listening to games on the radio, blah, blah, blah. I checked my phone. It's 1-1. I literally checked my phone 5 minutes later, and it was 4-1 Carolina. Like, that game wasn't even close at any point in time. Like, I'm pretty sure, you can fact check me on this, but I'm pretty sure it was tied 1-1 and 3 goals in 52 seconds. I'm pretty sure. Like, it was less than a minute where they allowed 3 straight goals. Like,
it was, yeah, I don't know the exact time. But the Bruins, it was only tied for a few minutes, and the Canes did score 3 goals very quickly in the final 3 minutes of the first period. I think your math is actually spot on.
Yeah, so it was
52 seconds on the nose.
Yeah, 17-14, 17-52, 18-06. Like, dude, that's crazy. Like, sometimes we see some weird things where you get, 2 goals in the span of 40 seconds. Like, we see that probably like once a week or once every couple of weeks, but 3 goals in less than a minute, dude. Like, that's tough. So I'm interested to see. And to keep this going, like, I hate talking about Boston as, too much longer than this. Although as a Leaf fan, they're losing. So maybe I am kind of enjoying this a little bit. But, tomorrow they play Philadelphia at 1 p.m. I believe they're home. No, they're not. They're in Philly.
They're in Philly.
And they just got shut out by Philly. And Philly's not scoring a bunch of goals. They only have 4 goals in the last 2 games, but they won both of them. So, if this was a week ago, maybe this is a get-right game. But Philly's playing some good hockey as of late. So we will see what happens. I won't talk.
I want to pile on them just a little bit more. You're kind of burying the lead there. Philly was allowing the most goals per game before they faced the Bruins and shut them out. Yep. It's not just that the Flyers were struggling to score. They weren't stopping anybody either. They were another team off to a rough start and just dominated Boston as far as the scoreboard's concerned. So it's not pretty.
Yeah, great point by you. And I won't talk about how the Leafs putting together, back-to-back terrific performances in a game that wasn't even close for the most part. And also, like Andre and my self-centered Toronto self is kind of coming out a little bit here. I've been pretty spot on with these goal-scoring props with the Maple Leafs recently. I've been calling William Nylander. I've been calling Matthew Nyes got a goal last night. I'm feeling good about my Maple Leaf picks right now, dude. And Florida Panthers scores again. This over might hit before we're done our show.
Yeah, you're locked in with your boys for sure.
Yeah. I'm feeling pretty good about. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it. All right, let's move on. Wrap up the show with our best bets. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I'm seeing a lot of you guys who've been with us for this entire show. So We really, really appreciate you. Welcome to the Best Bet segment, brought to you by the one, the only First Round Collectibles. With our promo code Sports Addict, get 10% off whatever sports card you want in the entire First Round Collectibles store. They have an ongoing sale up to 50% off tons of cards. And with our promo code Sports Addict, not only do you get 10% off of your order on regular priced items, but sales items as well. Baseball just wrapped up. Still feeling in the baseball mood. Get some baseball cards. Hockey, basketball, full swing. Get some basketball, hockey cards. Basketball and hockey. I don't know if they have basketball, hockey both on the same card. They might. They have everything, so they very well might. Football, we're halfway through the NFL season, which is crazy. Get yourself some football cards. They even got boxing. They even got WWE or F, depending on your vintage. So head over firstroundcollectibles.com, promo code Sports Addict for 10% off your order. First Round Collectibles, sports cards for sports fans. Andre, what do you got as your best bet, bro?
I do. So you brought up the NBA NHL combo just real quick. You think they have a Quentin Grimes, Tyler Myers combo since they're brothers?
I'm sorry. Can you say that again? I completely missed that.
Yeah, you were like, I don't know if they have a hockey basketball combined card. And I was thinking,
oh yeah,
Quentin Grimes, Tyler Myers, they're brothers. Maybe they're on a card together.
They might have something like that. Yeah,
should have to look for that. First Round Collectibles, they would have it if that was a thing. So
I'll reach out to my guy Chris. I can see what we can do. How about that?
Yeah, for sure. No, just popped in my head. Just curious. Best bet for this, I guess, 5-game slate now. We're a period into one of the games. I think I'm going to go to the late night. I'm going to go to Cowtown, and I'm going to fade the Flames. They've just been rough lately, and the Devils. If you're going to allow the Devils scoring chances, they're going to score goals. They scored 6 in their last 2 games, 6 apiece in their last 2 games. They won those games by a combined 12-2. The Flames, 4-game losing streak. What was it, 6 goals in those 4 games? I think 3 of them came in 1 game. They've allowed 19 in that same span. So it's really rough.
Yeah,
in Calgary right now. The Devils, the way they're playing, it's not the team to get right. I'm going to take the Devils puck line at plus 140.
Yeah, unfortunately, I love it. I want to see Calgary bounce back tonight, but I think I am right there with you. I talked about it at the top of the show. I love both of these overs, man. Ottawa Senators, New York Rangers, Winnipeg Jets, Columbus Blue Jackets. I love both of these overs. But you know what? You do have the better, and I don't know, maybe you'll surprise me. Maybe we'll do the other one as a family play. I don't know. But I do think that the better goaltending matchup, not that I think that, this is a fact, that the better goaltending matchup is Ottawa and New York Rangers. So give me the over 6.5, minus 118 for Winnipeg Jets and Columbus Blue Jackets. Over 6.5 at minus 118. I laid out my case earlier. Lincoln has had a really good start to the season, and I'm really happy to see what's been happening in Columbus. It's really cool and special with the summer that they had. When do you ever see just an entire community of hockey fans just rooting for this team? Like, nobody's rooting against these guys, and it's cool to see. Just a little side note there. Eric Comrie, man, he's had a good start to the season, but I think both of these goalies are gettable, and both of these offenses have been playing extremely, extremely well. The Winnipeg Jets, 4.6 goals per game. Columbus Blue Jackets, 3.89. The Jets are number 1, and the Blue Jackets are in the top 10. So I like this over 6.5, minus 118.
Beautiful. That was my second favorite play of the day. So good call on that. Family play. What are you looking at? What are you eyeing?
Oh man, I don't know, dude. We're both on opposite sides of the Lightning Wild.
Yeah.
Buffalo, New York. Like, what do you even? The odds have shifted in that game, by the way. The Islanders are officially plus money now.
But you can't make the Sabres a best bet. We've learned that lesson before.
No, yeah, we have.
We've been there before.
I don't always change my decisions based on past mistakes, but this is one that we probably should. Man, I don't know, dude. You know what? I don't know. Tell me if you have something else. You tell me if you have a different one, but I kind of like Kyle Connor, Winnipeg Jets, 2+ points, man.
Over 1.5? Kyle Connor?
Yeah, over 1.5 points, 2+ points on FanDuel, plus 196. As I said, he has gotten 2+ points in 4 straight games, and he has 3+ points in 2 straight games. So I don't know, man. If that team is scoring, it's usually because of him. So it's a long shot. It's going to jack up the odds quite a bit. But Kyle Connor, man, he's been nothing but steady all year long. And plus 196, 2+ points. It's a bit bold, but I kind of like it. What do you think?
I like it too. The only problem I have is that I can only get them at over 0.5 point, which is minus 238. Not great for the odds, but
Gotcha.
pretty safe bet if you're throwing in a parlay. So I'm not totally opposed.
Well, I mean, if he's getting 2+ points, he's probably getting a goal. Like, do you just want to throw in him to score?
Plus 105. I mean, I'm fine with just the point.
Okay.
Honestly.
Love it.
Do you want to throw him in? What do you have the goal score odds as? Because I have plus 105.
Plus 115 over here on FanDuel.
Not to brag or anything.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
not to brag. No, my odds are bigger. Not to brag, though.
Because he does have, they've played 10 games. He scored in 8 of them. He has 9 goals on the season. So.
It's ridiculous, bro. He's having such a good season.
It's pretty reliable.
Yeah.
I'll throw it in there. You've convinced me.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, you convinced me. My parlay is plus 600. I don't know about you, but Devils puck line over 6.5 in Columbus, and Kyle Connor anytime goal scorer from the same game.
Yeah, with the 2+ points, I have plus 739. If I take that out, throw in a goal score, it's plus 640. So right around the same. So
Beautiful.
Absolutely love it. Well, everybody, we go into the intermission. Florida Panthers up 3-1. Thank you so much for watching today. We appreciate you all so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the hockey. Good luck on your bets. Shout out First Strong Collectibles, promo code SportsAddict, 10% off your order. And shout out, as always, Total Apex Sports. Check out the great sports coverage they have. Lots of articles on every sport you want. Have a great weekend, and we will see you on Monday.